Revoice Podcast Network. The mic is ours.
Welcome back to the Bad Attitude Podcast, the podcast where we dive into the creative prowess behind local VCU artists. Bad Attitude was created by host/sound editor Brett Coleman and producer Abby DeCandia. In Season 3, we'll be sitting down with a variety of creatives that we hope to recognize from VCU and hope to get more into the mind of the individual. On this 5th episode of Season 3, we're sitting down with Gabbie. They are currently a junior at VCU majoring in sculpture, set to graduate in 2026. Gabbie considers themselves as a performer. Through their music and artistry, they hope to combine sensory reality with dreams. Gabbie also spends time DJing alongside drag-esque elements in their performance. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do.
Hey guys, I'm Gabbie. Honestly, I like to do everything. I like to do too much. Definitely a lot of performance, although I don't even know if I would like to call it that. That's just the easiest thing. But mostly just doing things for other people, to make people happy.
So you're currently a junior at VCU, is this correct?
Yep.
So you've been in the city of Richmond. How do you enjoy the city of Richmond? What are some of your favorite parts about being in Richmond?
Honestly, getting here was kind of hard for me to acclimate. But now that I've been here for a few years, I would just say all of my favorite parts are the places that people don't know. All the little hidey places, anything DIY, just any even little alleys, back streets, things that people don't go to as much, even Jackson Ward.
Yeah, I live in Jackson Ward. There's a lot of random little just spots that are really good that most people don't know, because most people know spots in the Fan or
right in the heart of Richmond or whatever, but there's heart everywhere in Richmond.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of heart in Richmond, a lot of different spots. And so you spend a lot of time playing music. Who would you, if you could shout out some of your favorite local artists here in Richmond, whether it's art, music, or anything, who would you shout out?
Recently, Kitty Corner. I know a few people in the band, just friends of friends, but man, they are just indie to another level. DJs Sharchan, Meep, of course, they're not only are they just greats, awesome DJs, but they're just awesome people.
Kitty Corner, Meep, and Sharchan.
Kind of a range, but
yeah.
Love them.
But I mean, that's a holy trinity. That's a holy trinity somewhere,
right, Right.
And when you look at your time being in school, your sculpting major, do you have a favorite way to unwind with being busy from school and all your assignments?
Listening to music, honestly, I find it hard as an art major to do art in a way that is, not for school. But I think listening to music, and then I kind of translated that into DJing, really. So it's just another way to listen to music, but I get to put the songs together, and just mess with them and mess it up as much as I can. That is just the most fun, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's just a creative outlet to do whatever you want. Who cares? You're doing it for yourself. That's the whole point of the outlet. I totally get that. That's how I feel playing music in a band. If there was a class that you've taken at VCU that's really just clicked with you, that you really just enjoyed, you got the most out of it, and it was just a great time, what course would that be?
Probably Vibes, which is a really funny class name, but it was literally that. It was literal vibrations, frequencies. It was everything sensorial, so smell, touch, texture, sound, even feeling sonic boom kind of feelings, vibrations, frequencies. It really went over all that kind of stuff, lighting too. And that really just kind of changed my view on how we view things. Everything is coming into our senses. So I guess that kind of affects how I do music or make art. Everything is getting analyzed in some way, shape, or form. Our body is taking it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting way to analyze art and music, but that is the very literal way of looking at something, and a lot of people don't do that. I feel for sure. I feel other people just listen to music and are oh, but when you literally think of it as like an actual sound and how it affects you in different types of sound, it can like change the way that you like view stuff for sure. We just heard your DJ set. We were blown away. We were just gobsmacked the whole time. Insane. When you look at the type of DJ sets you throw and just music you make in general, would you say it's more analog or more digital? And do you have a preference between the two?
The best things are mixed together. Like analog is so like the classics, like disco, things like that. I love funk. But really, like when you take that like deep funk bass line or like that fun like groovy beat and you mix it with some like crazy hyper pop like sounds, it really just takes it to another level. And I like that you can take the old stuff and make people want to listen to it more with the new. So really, I have no like preference. I've been recently getting back into older music because I listen to a lot of like hyper pop and like newer pop. And man, it's just like, it doesn't die. You know, the old stuff doesn't die.
No, yeah. Like, it's analog for a reason, you know? Like, it's actually physically there as compared to, like, digital. But I don't know. There's a charm to both. It's the same with, like, listening to music. You can listen to music digital, and it sounds amazing, but it might sound way more rich on a vinyl or on a cassette. And there's definitely preferences there. I'm way more of an analog guy. I like using cassettes a lot, but there's also the hassle towards that. It's frustrating sometimes.
Right, because, like, I guess there's almost more of a appreciation, not that you can't appreciate digital music, but when you have a CD, it's like an object along with the sound.
It's the action of like actually...
Right, it's the action of listening, and you have to sit down and like kind of take it in. So I don't know, I just kind of like that as an unwinding thing to sit down and listen.
Yeah, for sure. And when you look at DJ sets you've thrown, what is your favorite part about being a performer and throwing a DJ set?
I like to record audio memos of my DJ set. Like, I'll just put my phone down. And my favorite thing is when I'm recording and I listen back and I just hear like friends and people like, oh my gosh. And then they're like, this song. Or they're like, I just hear like stomping from like heavy dancing. And that is my favorite part. I'm like, oh, the audio memo got messed up. Then I'm like, no, it's actually better. Like, I just love hearing the audience interaction and just knowing that like, even if the DJ set isn't the best, like people are dancing, people are like feeling the music, you know, that's really the feeling that I want to capture.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of the most interesting spots when like recording music live is like you do hear the crowd and the interaction, and it can add a lot to it sometimes. Like sometimes listening to a song live does not hit the same as like a recording. There's certain bands that sound way better live than they ever will in a studio, for sure. And I think that, yeah, I definitely agree with that. At what point do you think music starts to lose its substance and the importance of the listener?
When it becomes commercialized. Honestly, like, if you aren't in music for the sound, the feeling, the emotion, the whatever that comes from it, and you just want to make and make and make, it fades into nothing in a sort of way. Really, it's about, like, curation and, like, I don't know, just an essence that you can't create, you know? It's just an essence.
It's that authenticness that some people just have and some people don't. But yeah, you mentioned that, like, commercial route. That's the one route that, like, I understand it and I do see the appeal of it, but that is something that can really like just ruin the authenticness of it, because if you are authentic about it right from the get-go and you just stay on that path, it can be really special, like on its own, rather than just going straight to the commercial route. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, really great guest. Really interesting. Yeah, loved hearing the DJ set. Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bad Attitude was created by host/sound editor Brett Coleman and producer Abby DeCandia. Are you a musician, artist, or creative of some kind? Reach out to us on Instagram at badattitude_revoice to possibly become a guest on the show. We're always looking for more guests. Bad Attitude is exclusively a product of VCU's Revoice Podcast Network, VCU's first student-ran podcast network. While you're at it, go check out a brand new episode of Rate This Plate with Kyler as he goes to Burger Brew. Thanks so much for listening to episode 5 of season 3.